Okay, in this we will have a quick glance through uh, the points which I have discussed already in the form of some PPT. Some more points are there. We will try to understand. Okay, so let's see. Very quickly glance through. This PPT is anyway in the form of PDFs. I will provide to you later point of time. Do not worry about it. So broadly, there are two strategies for dealing with errors. One is error correcting codes, the other is error detecting codes. So these are also called forward error correction, backward error correction. Okay, so error correction and error detection. Both of them are there. Both of them. So let me select this. Okay. So we have error correction and error detection. Two broad approaches. Next. These are the different error correcting methods of which I have already explained to you about Hamming codes. Okay, in addition to that, there are other error correction codes also which are not dealt in detail in the textbook, but a brief overview is given with respect to them. We'll have a review also or overview also for your convenience. Later, if you want more details, we can go through like binary convolution codes, Reed-Solomon codes, low density parity check codes. These are the various methods, but among them, these are very popular one of which in the previous video I have already explained to you by means of an example. Okay, in detail we have seen. So error correcting codes are broadly categorized into two types, like block codes means the message is divided into fixed size blocks of bits to which redundant bits are added like Hamming method. Convolutional code, the message comprises of data streams of different length and parity symbols are generated by the sliding application of boolean function to the data stream. We will see later point of time. Convolution also I will show you one particular code. Okay, so two types. This now Hamming concept I've already done. I'm not going to explain everything. So I talked about Hamming distance. Then the same example I said that the Hamming distance is 5. So therefore you can detect 4 errors, you can correct 2 errors. We did that already. Okay. And then the technique of Hamming method also I have explained to you. In step 1 what the sender will do, step 2 what the receiver will do. The sender will calculate the number of redundant bits, how many check bits are needed, then position the redundant bits. I have already done that. Then calculate the values of each redundant bit based on the position values like 1 2 3 1 2 1 3 5 7 9 for 1, 2 4 2 3 6 7 9 11 for 2, and like that. Then at the receiver side what happens? Used by sender, calculate the number of redundant bits, position the redundant bits, parity checking, error detection and correction. These by the receiver, not sender. Sender is already done here. So you make a correction. This should be at receiver side. Okay. Calculate the number of redundant bits, position the redundant bits, parity checking has to be done, and then error detection and correction, whatever is being applied. So this example I gave earlier, I solved one problem with respect to this. Now, for example, if I take this as my data set, I want everybody as a homework, you try this as a homework. Earlier I gave some other example. Here is another example which you can try as a problem. Take this as data bits, find the number of check bits. So how many data bits I have? 2, 4, 6, 7. So again 4 bits are needed, total 11 bits. Find the parity bits and then you try to compute it. You should see whether you get this answer or not. Try this as a good example. So this is the code word. This is the code. This is the data bits. These are data bits. So for these data bits, you formulate the code word. You formulate the code word. Okay. So the procedure, whatever I explained, I have explained here. Same thing has been explained here. You can work out later. Like the original data that has been appended with check bits based on the position values 1, 2, 4, and 8. And then a single bit error has happened here, and then how that is corrected. Same thing is being shown, which I did as a problem in my previous video. You can repeat it for this data set. Okay. Now about convolutional code means we are not going to have parity bits here, but based on the bit position values with some manipulation, performing some operation like exclusive OR, we generate some output bits which forms what are called the convolutional codes, using which you can correct the errors. So an encoder, you know already in detail design what is an encoder, processes a sequence of input bits and generate a sequence of output bits as shown in the diagram. So each one is an encoder as such. The output depends on the current and previous input bits. So the output depends on the current input bits and the previous one. Like you see the lines which are coming, it takes not only from the current bit positions but also from previous bit positions. Current bit at this stage is maybe, for example, this, and the previous ones become these. That is the meaning. Each input bit on the left hand side produces 2 output bits. So this is the first output. Let me write. This is the first output. Sorry. This is the first output. Let me use the pen. This is the first output and this is the second output. All right. Okay. Each input bit on the left hand side produces two output bits on the right hand side that are exclusive OR. This is the exclusive OR operation of the input and the state, the internal state of these encoder. So using these two bits at the receiver side, we can again detect the errors. If you want more details of this, you can have a look at the textbook and Wikipedia also. From Wikipedia also you can get the information about convolutional codes, because in your regular textbook details are not explained. The detail working like Hamming code is not explained, just brief explanation, and that is sufficient enough from your examination point of view. Okay. Now likewise there is another approach called Reed-Solomon code. Let us review the points of this. Are based on the fact that every n degree polynomial is uniquely determined by n plus 1 points. So I will explain to you the meaning of this in the next section which I am going to take. For example, a line having in the form ax plus b is determined by 2 points, that is x power 0, x power 1, 2 points. Imagine that we have two data points that represent a line and we send these two data points plus two checkpoints chosen to lie on the same line. So if one of the points received an error, we can still recover the data point by fitting a line to the received points. Okay, again you can take an example and prove these points. So three of the points will lie on the line and one point that is which is in error will not, so therefore we can easily correct that. So that is Reed-Solomon codes. If you want to see an example of this, you can see the textbook and try to work out. I am not going to discuss that because that is a very simple one. The important one is Hamming method, which is slightly involved, and if you try to read from textbook about Hamming method, you won't be able to understand. Therefore you have to rely on my lecture here where I have explained to you. Like that, this also you can glance through, that is not that important. So among all the important one, you can just make yourself well comfortable with Hamming method and convolutional codes and also Reed-Solomon code. Low density parity check codes is not that important. You can ignore it or just glance through these points which I am presenting to you or which I provide in the form of notes. That will be more than sufficient enough. Now I will take on for discussion in more detail with regard to error detection codes. How is error detection done? There are broadly three approaches. One is parity, which I have already explained, odd or even parity. Checksums is another approach, and the most important one is this. That is my focus. This you have to implement in your lab also. So therefore I will take a problem on working out for cyclic redundancy code, CRC. But however, let's glance through with parity. Single bit is appended to the data, as we said, like parity of bit position 1, 2 is governed by together, we have seen already. So based on the bit position value 2, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, we define the parity of 1. We define the parity of, I'm sorry, not 2, 1, 3, alternate 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11. So likewise, the parity of 2 is also decided on same lines in the way. So that's what, here a single bit is appended to the data. The bit is chosen so that the number of bits code word is even or odd, and then we perform exclusive OR to find out whether it is in error or not. This we have already done. We don't have to go into details of this. Then checksum is another approach. Now the checksum is often used to mean a group of bits, check bits that are associated with a message. And we follow some approach for computing this checksum value. So again, no explanation or no algorithms are discussed in this. Only you remember what is checksum. This is generally used in protocol like IP, TCP, UDP, etc. So what is the basic idea? Add up the data and send it along with sum. That is nothing but same concept. Here is the data, and of this data, using some approach, we compute the checksum bits and add it and send it. The checksum is usually placed at the end of the message on the complement of as some manipulation of the sum function. So this is the approach. For this also we don't have to study, but in the exam what you have to study, or in your syllabus what you need to study for your lab also, is the CRC, cyclic redundancy check. This is an important topic. We'll work out a problem on this also, as we did for Hamming method. So please pay attention. This is a much better, stronger protection than checksum and parity. That's why we study this. Used practically in many protocols, including like Ethernet 802.11 and CRC32, cyclic redundancy check. 32, what is the significance of 32? We'll see. Now, what is the algorithm? The algorithm of parity is very simple. Given n bits of data, generate a k bit check sequence, just like as we do in Hamming, that gives a combine of n plus k code word. That should be divisible by a chosen divisor. I will talk about chosen divisor, what is divisor, what is dividend, etc. But the point here is this, which you have to follow in this polynomials or this cyclic redundancy check. Numbers correspond to polynomials. Please follow what I am saying. Not this is already yellow, so I will take a different color. This for you concept you should understand. Numbers correspond to polynomials. Using modulo arithmetic, numbers corresponding to polynomials, use modulo arithmetic. Meaning, if I take for example a polynomial like x cube plus x plus 1, you know it is a polynomial of degree 3. Now this we say, I'm sorry. So I was telling you that polynomial, I will rewrite again, take a different ink, this thing. If I write a polynomial like x cube plus x plus 1, what is this? This is polynomial of degree 3. The coefficients of this, what is the coefficient of this? 1. What is the coefficient of this? 1. What is the coefficient of this? 1. This last term can be written as x power 0. So this polynomial is assumed to have how many terms? X power 0. How many terms? X power 0, x power 1, x power 2, x power 3. So polynomial having 4 terms of degree 3, polynomial of degree 3. 4 terms of degree 3. Right, x power 0 is this. So what is the coefficient of this? 1. What is the coefficient of this? 1. What is the coefficient of x power 2 term is not 0, is not present, so 0. X power 3 is 1. So what this point says, every polynomial of some degree represents actually a data which is contributed by its coefficient. Like for example, this is a polynomial of what degree? 7. Degree 7 means it has 8 terms. What are those 8 bit values? X power 1 coefficient is x power 0, here x power 0 is 0, 0 into x power 0, so coefficient is 0. X power 1 is 1, x power 2 is not there, so therefore this is 0. X power 3 is 1, x power 4 is 1, x power 5 is not there, 6 is not there, so 0, 0, x power 7 is 1. So these are data corresponding to this polynomial. This is the first point. Every data set can be represented by a polynomial. So data bits and check bits can be represented by polynomial. That is the first point you have to understand. Next, what is the algorithm for CRC? Please understand. First point, the communicating parties agrees upon a message m of x. This is actual message that we want to send, and a generator polynomial. This is like our key. So this receiver and sender will have to agree on this. What is this? The data given to us for which we want to send it on the sender. So for which every sender and receiver will have to agree on generator polynomial. So this is also a polynomial. This is also a polynomial. If R is the order, means degree of g of x, R bits are appended first. This is the first step. The R bits. R is the order. What is the order of this polynomial? Look here. What is the order of this polynomial? 3. 0, 1, 2, 3. Order of this. Okay. So if R is the order of g of x, R bits are appended to the low order end of m of x. I will show you example. This makes the block size x power r. This is a resultant polynomial now. Then the block, that is this resultant polynomial, is divided by g of x using modulo 2 division. I will show in the example. The remainder that we get is added to x power mx using modulo 2 addition, right? And the result is the frame to be transmitted t of x. And then the encoding procedure makes exactly divisible by g. I will explain by means of an example. Right? Then at the other end, what is going to happen? The receiver divides the incoming data stream or data frame unit by g of x using again modulo 2 division. So if the remainder is 0, then the error is the frame is not in error. Otherwise, if the remainder is not 0, then that means it is in error. That is what it is. If there is no remainder, then it implies that e of x, the data frame, is accepted. That is no error. And the remainder indicates a non-zero value of e of x, means there is some error and the frame is rejected. To understand that, this is an example. So please follow this example and try to understand. I'll later explain the same thing by working on board also, but first let us understand from here. So what is this? This is my frame. So can you write the polynomial corresponding to this frame? Let us try to write the polynomial corresponding to this frame. Okay, let us try to write the polynomial corresponding to this frame. So I will take an ink here and I will write with black or maybe red. Okay, so what is the polynomial corresponding to this? I will slightly take a thinner one. Okay, this is x power 0 1, x power 0 into 1 plus x power 2 is also 1, sorry, x is also 1, x power 1 is 1 plus this x square 0 1 2 x square, x cube is also 1, 0 1 2 3 4, x power 4 is also 1, but there is no x power 5, but x power 6 is there, plus x power 6, x power 7 is not there, 8 is there, 8 and 9, 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9, x power 9. So this is a polynomial actually corresponding to this data frame, x power 9 and so on. Got my point? And generator polynomial, this is a generator polynomial which will be given to us. So what is this polynomial representing? Let me write it here. This is x power 0, so therefore 1 plus x power 1 means x, 2 is not there, 3 is not there, x power 4. So this is my generator polynomial. X power 4 plus x plus 1. So this is the values, coefficients of this polynomial. This is 1, 0, 0, 1. Got it? So this is the generator polynomial g of x, and this is my data m of x. This is my data m of x. Got my point? So what is the order of g of x? The order is 4. Order is 4, the highest degree. Because there are 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. The order is 4. Please remember that. In the previous slide I have shown you. Right? In the previous slide I have shown. Here I will tell you. Next slide. If r is, look at that, if r is the order of g of x, r bits are appended to the low order end of m. Come on, let's apply. What is the order of this? The order of generator polynomial is 4. Again I repeat, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So to the original message, I am going to add 4 zeros. These 4 zeros are added. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 zeros are added. So this is my original message. This is my original message to which I have added 0, 0, 0, 0. Got my point? That's the meaning of the statement. And now this is the frame with 4 zeros. This is the quotient anyway we are going to get. Frame with 4 zeros. And this is my generator polynomial. Using modulo 2 division, I am going to divide this. I am going to divide this now resultant. This is my m of x into r divided by g of x with modulo 2 division. So what do? I follow the standard procedure. Now if you take this value 1, 1, 0, 1, 0, because there are 5 bits here. So 1, 1, 0, 1, 0 goes one time. So I write that. I perform exclusive OR operation. So therefore 0 exclusive OR with 1 is 1, 1, 1 is 0, 0, 0 is 0, 1, 0 is 1. I hope you remember that. You remember that. What I am trying to say, please follow me. 1 exclusive OR with 1 is 0, 0 exclusive OR with 0 is 0, 0 exclusive OR with 1 is 1, 1 exclusive OR with 0 is 1. Right? This is the rule. This is the rule I am using. So therefore, this is 0, this is 0, this is 1. What do? I take the next bit 1. Now this is 1, 0, 0, 1, 1. This will go exactly one time. So all will become 0. Then I will take the next carry forward 1. Right? So this 5 bit and this is 5 bit. This is greater than this. So this will go 0 time. So zeros I substitute and perform exclusive OR. This will become 1. This remaining 0. I take the next bit carry forward 1. So again this value is lesser than this. So this goes 0 time. Division, right? So therefore I will get the result like 1, 1. Then I take the next carry forward. This become 1, 1, 1. This 0, 0. So therefore again this value is greater than this. So this goes 0 time. So result will become what? It will become like 1, 1, 1, 1. Then I take the next 0 here. So now this value is greater than this. So therefore it goes one time. So first 0 0 0 times, and now time has come, it will go one time. It will go one time. So perform exclusive OR. This is 1, this is 0, this is 1, this is 1, right? And take the next carry. So again this value is greater than the g of x, generator polynomial. So this will also go one time. This is 1 0 0 1 0. Then again this value is greater, so therefore it goes one time. The producing the result 1 0, so goes 0 time. Last 0 is appended here. Performed last time, goes 0 time. Then producing the remainder. This is the remainder I got. So what happened? This remainder now will be added to the original message. This original message is appended. So this 0, it's performed like, let me do it here for you. I have 1 1 0 1 0, then 1 2 3 4 5 ones, 1 2 3 4 5 ones, 0 0 0, 4 zeros. Now this remainder is added to this exclusive OR with the remainder is 1 0, exclusive OR with this. So what will I get? These values, this is 0, this is 1, exclusive OR, remaining bit as it is. 4 5 0 1 0 1 1. Now this is what is called T of x, the transmitted message is what we transmit. That's what we are getting here. We are transmitting this frame with 4 zeros appended minus remainder. So when I do minus here, I will get this value. So now when this receiver receives this, okay, receiver receives this T of x. So what will the receiver will do? Receiver will divide this received T of x with generator polynomial again, and if the remainder is 0, then that means there is no error. If the remainder is not 0, that is an error. So that's a simple procedure. That is a very simple procedure. So what I will do is in the board again, because here I have not worked out the same problem, I will work out step by step for you so that you can check and verify. Okay, we'll do that as an exercise.